Yeah.
Basically, has gone for third mode. Right. Oh, is everything now in place for the meeting to go ahead, Rob?
Yeah, it is indeed. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Right, so the first thing on the agenda is to receive apologies for absence, and Linda send out apologies. Apparently she's on holiday enjoying herself. It's a pity. We're all here. Next item on the agenda is declarations of interest. Councillors and officers are reminded of their personal responsibility to declare any personal and or prejudice or interest in any respect of any item of business on this agenda in accordance with the Local Government Act. Are there any declarations of interest? So we move on to item number 3, which is to approve the minutes of the Standard Committee, which is held on the 21st of March this year. We've all had a copy of that, presumably.
Yes.
So we'll go through the meetings page by page. If there's anything you want to bring up, please do so. Pages of stuff together. There, I've got it. We'll move on. We've got page 1, which shows those who were present at the meeting. Apologies for absence, declarations of interest. Minutes from the previous meeting in February. We received the annual letter from the Services Ombudsman. That's on page 1, page 2. Any items on there that anybody wants to bring up? No. Oh. Over that page at the annual whistleblowing policy. On third page, we've got public interest test and item number 7, exemption item decision notices. And that's it. Are there any items that you want to raise following from the minutes? No? Okay, so I can sign these.
Yeah, if you could ask the members to vote, please.
Oh, sorry.
Just by raising their hands.
Could you raise your hands to vote that you approve the minutes?
Yep.
Thank you.
I'll abstain, Chair, because I was absent from that meeting.
Okay,
Same for me.
fair enough. Is that not duly noted? Who's taking the minutes? No abstentions. Right. So we move on to the next item on the agenda. Cheers. The Public Services Ombudsman for Wales annual letter, and Lisa's going to tell us about this.
Members, you'll be familiar with the annual letter from the Public Services Ombudsman, which we bring to the Standard Committee each year. We also take the letter to full council for all members to be made aware of the contents of the annual letter, specifically for Caerphilly. The report has a covering report attached to it. I'll just go through a number of main issues raised in the letter itself. Members will note that during 24-25, the Ombudsman received 1,337 complaints about local council, which is an increase of 20% on the previous year and 54% more than in 2019-20. Members will also note the letter specifically refers to complaints about Caerphilly County Borough Council, and there were 78 complaints received. Some complaints were carried over from the previous year. Members will also note the intervention rate for Caerphilly in terms of maladministration complaints was 14%. And of note, 24% of the complaints received were in relation to housing, an increase of 16% from 23-24. In addition, members will note that 24 recommendations were made to Caerphilly Council, and of those recommendations, 50% of the recommendations were duly complied with within the time scale agreed. So we will continue to monitor this figure to ensure that we can improve on the timeliness of compliance with these recommendations. This will also include notifying the Ombudsman of compliance within the compliance period. So we'll continue to work to increase that compliance figure. Members will note the code of conduct work the Ombudsman undertakes, specifically in relation to Caerphilly. Members will note the data in relation to the Canterbury Council members, code of conduct referrals, and in relation to the Family Community Council, code of conduct referrals and the outcomes there. The outcomes for those code of conduct matters is included in Appendix F in relation to the Canterbury Council and Appendix G in relation to town and community councils. Members will also note reference in the Ombudsman's letter to independent review undertaken by Dr. Melissa McCann in relation to the code of conduct work. The Senate's Finance Committee published its report on the review, and that committee made further recommendations, which have also been assessed again by Dr. McCullough, and the assessment concluded a number of recommendations which are set out on page 3 of the Ombudsman's annual letter. Members will note as well that the Foley Council participated in an own initiative investigation during 24-25, and the details of that is also set out on page 4 of the annual letter. I don't propose to go into that in any detail, but I am aware that social services officers have liaised with the Public Services Ombudsman from Wales's office in relation to that initiative. Again, the letter also mentions training, and officers within the Canterbury Council have undertaken training during the summer months, which was well attended, and good feedback provided in relation to the content of the course. And finally, we also provide the Ombudsman with statistics regarding our maladministration complaints, which is published twice yearly on the Ombudsman's website. We continue to liaise with the Ombudsman's office regarding that data. I don't propose to add anything further, but I'm happy to take any questions.
Can I ask a question? You said that only 50% actions have been acted upon. That was because of an agreed date. Agreed the date.
Well, so we would agree, say, for example, within 2 months to undertake A, B, C, and we provide the Ombudsman with a copy of the compliance. And so we may need an extension of time, possibly, if there was an issue with complying with one of the recommendations, or if we haven't provided confirmation of compliance within that 2-month period as well. That's the marker. So we may have complied with the recommendations, but we hadn't provided that information to the Ombudsman. So we're going to tighten up as to recommendations, the achievability of complying within the timeframes, and providing.
I mean, at the time scale is reasonable for you to carry out the action.
Yeah, potentially. Obviously, they are agreed up front with officers, but there may be instances where perhaps workloads or, officers' absence. It may be that we've not been able to comply with the timeframes. But it will be something we will discuss going forward in the complaints group, just to, tighten up where we can.
Okay, thank you.
It goes, Chairman, with each specific case, so each specific complaint that's dealt with. The timeframes are agreed with the Ombudsman for that specific complaint.
So they're not led by the Ombudsman. It doesn't say you have to do it by this time.
No, not necessarily. No, there's no an agreement with that. And as Lisa says, we need to get better at that.
Okay. Thank you, Lisa. Anybody else got any questions?
Just on that same point, you could, easily write the spin differently and say 50% and not comply with within the timescale. So
Which makes me wonder whether the timescale is reasonable. Who sets them? I could set the timescale if I want something by tomorrow, but nobody else is going to agree with it.
They are agreed, Chair, with the Ombudsman in advance. Obviously, we need to tighten up on the compliance rate with those recommendations.
Right. No questions from you, Vic?
No, I think
John?
it would have been similar. My questions would have been similar.
John, Lisa?
No,
any
I haven't got any questions. Thanks, Chair.
No, no questions. No,
questions? Lisa?
Yeah.
Can you say something, Lisa?
no, I've got no questions.
Sorry, Vic, carry
How
on.
big is the team? So is there looking into it? And you said you're tightening not. Is it like one person looking at, 2 person looking at this, or is it again, like you said, it depends on the severity of the case or the complaint?
complaints group, which involves the complaints officers from all directorates. So we'll be meeting in the coming months to discuss a variety of issues, and this will be one of them. So each directorate has their own complaints officers, and so if an early resolution is agreed, it's agreed with that particular department. And so there's a number of people involved in the process. So we'll obviously get together and work out why it's happened and how we can improve it. So
Because it is important that if targets are set
Yeah.
and they are agreed, that they are met.
Yeah.
So appreciate what you can do in the future on that one. Right. So any more questions on that? So I can say thank you, Lisa. No more questions of any sort? No? So it's the end of the meeting as such.
Well, before you bring the meeting to an end, please Chairman, members, you will know that this is Peter's last meeting. So
I did know.
Peter has been our chair for I think the last 4 years, isn't it? Yeah, it's been the last 4 years, and he sat on this standards committee for 8 years. Fortunately, the regulations say that Peter can only sit on what was a nice clap in there from Lisa. Can only sit for those 8 years, so we can't increase that. That's sad for me personally. I get on very, very well with Peter. He's been a great help to me since my time here at Caerphilly. So on behalf of you as a standards committee and on behalf of the council, I would like to thank Peter for all his efforts over those 8 years. It is great that members of the public put themselves forward to sit on the standards committee. It can be quite a pressurized position. So, for example, when we do get reports, referrals from the Ombudsman, that's when the work becomes more intensive. So I would like to thank Peter personally and on behalf of the council for all his efforts over the last 8 years. Thank you very much, Peter. On that note, and I've referred you to this in the past, at the end of this month, on the 30th of September, the council will be considering a report. There are 3 recommendations within that report. It's a decision for the council, but I'm sure they will go with your recommendations. The first recommendation is that a Mr. Lee Shaxson is appointed to replace Peter as the 5th lay member on our standards committee. Peter, John, Shane carried out an interview at the middle of last month. They interviewed some potential candidates for this lay member position, and Mr. Shaxson was successful in that, and his name now will be recommended to council at the end of the month to come on our standards committee. The second thing is that we've been without a community member, so a community town councillor, for a couple of months. The recommendation in the report is that a Blackwood town councillor, George Etheridge, will come on to the standards committee. Again, that will be a decision of the council. Councillor Etheridge will come on to the standards committee until the May 27 election. So that will be a shorter period. Mr. Shaxson, we will recommend, will come on for 6 years. And then finally in the report, thankfully, both John and Linda wish to continue their roles on the standards committee. So they will have another 4 years on the standards committee, which will be great. And we're thankful for John and Linda for putting themselves forward for that. So that's a report coming to council at the end of the month. When the decision's made, I will get in touch with standards committee members, and I think we'll have a report. We'll have a meeting then before Christmas so that Mr. Shaxson can meet each of you, and I can explain the role of the standards committee to him. So, sad in some ways, Peter, but as I say, thank you ever so much
Just be in others.
for your, no, not at all, for all your efforts, your common sense, your reasonableness. It's been greatly.
I'll have to watch my Halo shit choke me.
Thank you very much.
When I say thank you, Rob, it's been great being here. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Not traumatic in any way. Compared with working in industry, this is a walk in the park. Working in industry is a different way. Well, thanks very much, folks. And yes, I will miss you all, but I might see some of you again.
Yes.
We never know.
No doubt. Yeah.
But I do have another job to go to. I have to tell you. Told two of you earlier on, and that is that I've got to join the Standards Committee of the South East Wales CJC when they have a stand committee. They haven't got one at the moment, but about setting one up.
Yeah.
We will hopefully join that. Anyway, thanks very much, everyone. Thank you for that. Thanks for all
Thanks,
your help.
Peter.
John.
Thanks, John.
That's it then. I don't declare the meeting closed. Thank you for your attendance.
Thank you very